Even a professional can change their mind about a makeup product. After quite a few years working on hundreds of people, probably thousands of products at this point, some might say that professional artists can be a bit of a product snob. I prefer the term particular. I do admit I get kind of skeptical about new products, but even a pro has to get down off of their product high horse and try new things. So I have been trying several different makeup products, and I'm going to let you know if I was wrong about my pro opinion. Hi pretty people, it's Crystal, your very own personal beauty pro from Face to Fragrance. If you are new to me, welcome. I actually am a working professional makeup artist in the areas of advertising, commercials, editorial, runway. I have literally done hundreds of faces of all the races. In addition to that, over the years, I have also become a licensed esthetician, a professional hairstylist, a beauty editor, and the list goes on. And what I love doing, in addition to doing what I love, is bringing pro quality information to everyday people. Today, I'm going to give you a pro's opinion on a lot of popular beauty. First up is from House Labs. This is the big smash hit foundation, the Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. It is promoted as a clean and also a skin caring foundation. Complexion is one of my favorite personal areas of beauty. It is also one of the most important aspects of my role as a pro artist. So I must admit, I'm generally pretty skeptical about the mid-range foundation. Generally speaking, I just prefer to go straight to the pro products, RCMA, William Tuttle. As far as brands that are available to the consumer, I still like MAC Cosmetics. NARS is one of my favorites for foundation products. I also like Makeup Forever, and there are several other really good ones, but I have to say I have been enjoying this foundation. This foundation is absolutely yummy going on. It's this really hydrating, satiny foundation, so it makes the skin look dewy. I find that the undertones vary, and sometimes it might be a little challenging to find your shade. I did settle on shade 340 medium cool, and it turned out to be a flattering shade. The foundation gives a medium coverage. It minimizes discoloration. It unifies the skin's complexion, but it does let a bit of your natural skin peek through. It does have quite a bit of transfer. Even after I let it completely dry and settle down, this foundation does need to be well blended, and you will need to powder if you want a more durable finish. To my surprise, although so satiny, this foundation lasts beautifully throughout the day. There was minimal fading. It looks good in person, and as you can see, it photographs and videos beautifully. Has it taken the place of some of my favorite foundations? I won't say that, but I will continue to wear this throughout the year, and we will touch base again later. I finally got around to trying the reformulation of Charlotte Tilbury's foundation. I really liked the original. It was admittedly a bit thick in texture. You did need to blend it well, but that finished product was so flawless, smooth, and glamorous. I wasn't quite sure where she was going to go with this particular formula, whether it was really going to be improved, but I have to say it is. It is a lighter, airier, more whipped feeling, but it still keeps that flawless, perfect, full coverage. You do need to work in smaller sections, I feel, to really have time to blend it properly because it does set rather swiftly. And I think you use a light hand with this so that it doesn't look heavy. But one thing I will say about this, whether you're fairer or richer, these tend to run a bit warm, so I would definitely get color matched in store versus online if that's possible for you. I'm really glad I reintroduced this foundation, and it was right on time considering one of my former favorites, Estee Lauder, has changed their formulation. I did a full video on that one, so be sure to check it out. I had high expectations for this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. Actually, one of her earliest concealers, the one with the sponge applicator, that formula was actually very nice. Hate is a strong word, but I strongly disliked the applicator. Then she came out with the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. This is a nice concealer, but it never wowed me. It has a respectable amount of coverage. Perhaps that's what I wanted, more coverage. I've shared before that I don't think there's much purpose to a light or medium coverage concealer. The purpose of concealer is to add additional full, complete coverage. I've been wearing this new one and I have to say, this is a very nice concealer. I love the pointed wand to get really precise application. The texture is light and creamy, almost whipped, and it does have a beautiful coverage. I do need to wear this a bit more though to come to a more final conclusion, but it is still in the running to become America's next top concealer. If it's one beauty product I'm going to need to know about, it's a concealer. And Chanel has a new Ultra Le Temps concealer. I love Chanel's complexion product. The shade I got was specifically for highlighting or brightening. I would go closer to my own skin tone if I wanted to do concealing. The formula is beautiful. It's weightless. It looks smooth and beautiful under the eye. I do think I wish the coverage was a bit more full. I'll need to get it in a shade that's more my actual concealer shade, and then I'll be able to determine how I like the coverage. But this is another concealer I'll have to wear a bit more to fully form my thoughts. Now, eyeshadow is another area where I am super skeptical when it comes to a lot of the mid-range brands. My ideal eyeshadow is properly pigmented, not just highly pigmented. It should have an even, smooth coverage, and it should stay true to color. What you see in the pan should be pretty close to what you get on the lid, and it shouldn't fade into oblivion after a relatively brief period of time. I also expect eyeshadows to blend well and merge well, not skip and grab. And there are a few other expectations I have of a really good eyeshadow. Curiosity and the Glamour Girlies raved about this so much, I finally had to give a Patrick Ta eyeshadow a fair chance. This is one of his 6-pan eyeshadows, and it looks so beautifully curated. Really nice choice of colors. I thought to myself, if this is a good formula, this is such a good everyday option or a one and done option, because this can take you from day to night, and it's always nice to have a good set of matte eyeshadows. I will say this exceeded my expectations. To my surprise, what you see in the pan is what you get on the eye. These eye colors stay pretty true to shade. Don't need a lot of persuasion to blend. Now, I'm not quite sure if they're competing with my all-time favorite eyeshadow. There are a couple of tweaks I think could be made to make them even better, but I did enjoy using this palette. Patrick Starr has made such an amazing success of his brand One Size. You can tell some thought really goes into these products. They came out with the Silk Blue Cage. And when they came out with this Boucle Silk powder, I could not resist because I love a good finishing powder. And I have a video about the differences in finishing powders, how to use them and what they're for, so be sure to check that out. In short, a finishing powder is that final touch to your makeup once it's completely done. Their purpose is to blur, perfect, and filter. And an insider tip that I like to use that I don't hear anyone else mention is that if you take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and just a little finishing powder, do a final once over your shadow, and that will help soften and blend your shadow. You want to use a light hand with this powder because it is very soft, very loose in the pan. Lightly lay your brush in the product and make sure your brush is evenly coated so that it goes on the skin evenly. Shade I'm trying is medium dark. Let's add a touch of color to the skin. It blurs and softens, and it's a touch mattifying as well. I compared it to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting. Ambient Lighting is a bit more refined, also has a touch of microfine shimmer that adds that candlelit glow. And my other finishing powder I absolutely adore is the Guerlain Meteorite. that just make your finished makeup look angelic. And they have a bit more shimmer as well. Not glittery, it's a microfine shimmer. It is a very pretty powder. They've done a nice job with it, and I will definitely continue to wear it. Now, I did know the Sephora brand liquid lipsticks can hold their own, but I really didn't have high expectations for Sephora lip glosses. Generally speaking, more affordable lip glosses don't tend to be my favorite, but I was playing with them in store and they just look so pretty. They look pretty and glassy on the lips. They have a lasting shine and the colors are pretty. They have a plumping formula. The pearl shimmers are very fine. They're not chunky or glittery. They have a line called Gloss. These also come in beautiful shades. They have more fine, glassy, see-through shimmers, and then they have some that are more rich and opaque. Bronzy pink pearl called Money is gorgeous, and they have a beautiful shimmering gold called Strut. Which beauty product are you most snobbish about? Let me know if you've tried any of these. I look forward to seeing you in the very next video. But until we meet again, keep it pretty.